Hi guys, good morning. This is me, Dr. Jayanti Ghosh. Today I'm going to guide you on the subject of pharmacology for your NEET PG MDS planning. So, you must be like children are very much fearful for the subject of pharmacology. So, I'll try my best to help you overcome this fear. So you must be wanting to know the weightage of this subject. How many questions do come from this subject? The weightage of this subject is your 7% of the total paper. 14 to 19 questions of the total questions are asked from pharmacology. And you should start preparing this subject after 7 to 10 chapters. That is midway in your preparation. Which books to refer? The important books to refer for this subject is Medical KDT. Please, it's my request, don't read the Dental KDT. That is KDT, Pharmacology for Dental Students, because it is having a very limited knowledge. And then, what is the time taken for each subject? For theory, it is 5 hours for theory, and for MCQs, the time taken is your 8 to 10 hours. You have to give more time for your MCQ revision than your theory, because the more you practice, the more you become well versed with the subject. Because as this subject is a volatile subject, we need to forget this subject. We tend to forget. So in order to make it well versed and on our tips, we need to revise it 6 to 8 times. And there may be a direct question or there may be an indirect question. The direct question may be from classification, the drugs for bronchial asthma, status asthmaticus, and it may be combined with few number of subjects such as general medicine and microbiology. So we start. How to prepare this subject? What are the important topics? So I go with my preparation as the number of chapters, such as the first chapter is General Pharmacology and Principles. Here, one more thing I forgot to tell you, that you can also, apart from Medical KDT, you can also refer Sparsh Gupta's book of antibiotics and its side effects. This book is basically referred by people who are from medical field, but you can also refer it for specific chapters of antimicrobial drugs. Then the first chapter is General Pharmacology and Principles, where you need to know about the routes of drug administration, which is very important. Then pharmacokinetics, your membrane transport, absorption, distribution of the various drugs, and there may be an image-based question relating to the pharmacokinetics, excretion of the drugs and elimination of the drug, aspects of pharmacotherapy, adverse effects of pharmacotherapy. Then there may be also a question, numerical based question, depending on the routes of drug administration, that is half-life of each drug. So when there is a question about half-life, you can view it in Medical KDT, where it is very clearly explained about the various numericals which can be asked in the chapter of half-life. Section 2, that is autonomic nervous system. In autonomic nervous system, you need to know about sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, cholinergic drugs, anticholinergic drugs, parasympathomimetic drugs. Then you have your adrenergic system and your drugs for glaucoma. This is an important question. Drugs for glaucoma was asked in NEET 2020. And importance of adrenergic system and the drugs are your role of adrenaline in shock, and what percentage should be decreased in case of an hypertensive patient. Then next chapter is autocoids. In autocoids, you need to know about histaminics, antihistaminics. Then your drugs of migraine, that is 5-hydroxytryptamine, its agonist. Then prostaglandins, leukotrienes, icosanoids, and platelet activating factors. Then your NSAIDs, NSAIDs, It's very important. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and antipyretics, very very important. And the percentage of paracetamol which can be given in a pregnant lady, which drugs cannot be given in which trimesters, so that is important. Then we come about anti-rheumatoid drugs, anti-gout drugs for rheumatoid arthritis. It's also an important fact-based question which can come, because rheumatoid arthritis is a growing autoimmune disease which affects the human body as a whole. Respiratory system and drugs, this is the next chapter, where the drugs for cough and bronchial asthma is very important. Then we come to hormones. Important, very important, that is in hormones you link up whatever I said in physiology with this pharmacology. Anterior pituitary hormones, thyroid hormones, T3, T4, TSH, thyroid inhibitors, insulin, glucagon, oral hypoglycemic drugs, all the classes of oral hypoglycemic drugs, side effects, different classes of insulin, in which condition insulin is given, corticosteroids, androgens. Your drugs for erectile disinfection is very important. Estrogen, progestins, contraceptives, oxytocin and other drugs. Drugs affecting calcium balance. So hormone is a very important chapter, and indirect questions may be linked up from pharmacology to physiology. They may be direct, indirect based question. So drugs acting on peripheral or somatic nervous system, that is your SMR, skeletal muscle relaxants, which is an important topic in which peripheral and central SMR is important. Then you come to drugs acting on CNS, central nervous system, where general anesthetics, ester based methyl alcohols, sedatives, hypnotics, anti-epileptic drugs, anti-Parkinsonian drugs, drugs used in mental illness, that is antipsychotic and anti-anxiety drugs, antidepressants, opioid analgesics and antagonists, CNS stimulants and cognition enhancers. Another, here one concept-based question may be asked relating 3 chapters of CNS, that is anti-Parkinsonian drugs, anti-psychotic drugs as well as antidepressant drugs. CVS drugs, that is drugs of cardiovascular system, drugs affecting renin-angiotensinogen mechanism, plasma kinins, then glycosides, adverse effects, arrhythmic agents, anti-anginal, anti-ischemic drugs, anti-hypertensive drugs, drugs acting on, then next chapter is drugs acting on kidney, diuretics, anti-loop diuretics is very important, drugs affecting blood, and one more thing I forgot to tell is the mnemonic for loop diuretics is there on my mnemonic based episode which I taught on YouTube. You may check that out. I will also give that link on my description box. And so there another chapter next comes is about hematinics, erythropoietin, that is blood, drugs affecting coagulation, fibrinolytics, bleeding disorders, hypolipidemic drugs and plasma expanders. Then another chapter is gastrointestinal system is also very important, drugs for peptic ulcer, emesis, reflux and digestive disorders. Certain antimicrobial drugs, this is very important, that is your classes of mode of action of various antimicrobial drugs, general considerations, sulfonamides, cotrimoxazoles, the various generation of cephalosporins, particular examples of both, the mechanism of action of your beta-lactam by inhibition of cell wall synthesis, then your tetracycline and chloramphenicol, penicillin based diseases, side effects, aminoglycosides, macrolides, lincosamides, your glycopeptides, anti-tubercular drugs, because tuberculosis is a very important systemic disease along with leprosy, the various drugs, the drug based multi-drug resistance, single drug resistance, and the synergistic effect of sulfonamide and trimethoprim is also very important. Antifungal drugs, the systemic classification, antiviral drugs where the classification of herpes, your hepatitis class of drugs, anti-malarial drug life cycle of mosquito, your active phase, prophylactic phase, amoebic, anti-hemolytic drugs. Few questions I have noted down from AIPG Neeraj Wadhwan, that is xylometazoline is used before nasal intubation. Why? The cause is because it causes vasoconstriction, and the other option may be because it results in shrinkage of turbinates, relaxation of choanal opening, and dilation of nasal orifice. But the right answer is vasoconstriction. It causes the most important feature because we use 0.5% xylometazoline is because it causes vasoconstriction. Then true regarding furosemide is it can be used in acute pulmonary edema. Then what are the examples of 4-aminoquinolones? That is mefloquine, chloroquine, amylocluine, but primaquine is not an example of 4-aminoquinolones. Another question is your drug of choice for pseudomembranous colitis, enterocolitis is oral vancomycin. Then randomized clinical trials are done in which phase of drug testing? It is done in third phase of drug testing. Then co-prescription of amoxicillin and clavulanic acid is an example of synergism. Loading dose depends upon the volume of distribution. The more volume, the more dose. The less volume, the less loading dose. So another important question which I saw was, this I saw in that is your PGI, the true that is phenytoin in toxic doses. It causes ataxia, nystagmus, which are cerebral and vestibular symptoms. Then erythromycin helps to increase intestinal mobility by action on the motilin receptors. So here I come to the end of my discussion today. I hope my video must be helpful to you. If you have any doubt, do comment on my comment box, and I have all my soft notes, hard copies. If you need any guidance, do contact me. I have my mail ID and number given in my description box. Thank you and have a good day.